All right, everyone. Welcome to a great interview today. We have an amazing guest with us, and we're going to talk about the power of shiatsu massage. So I'm excited because I know my parents are actually traditional massage therapists, and a lot of people, when they hear massage, they think of a certain category of maybe helping with loosening their muscles, de-stressing their body. But we're going to discover today is that shiatsu is a way different style of looking at the body, looking for imbalances in the body, and as a result, getting you different types of benefits with your health. So if you've heard about shiatsu before and you're wondering, hey, what's up with that? Or you're curious to explore a holistic style of healing that can help your body in a different way, that's what we're going to discuss today. So welcome, Aaem. Aaem Henry is an amazing shiatsu massage therapist that I have actually, he's worked on me. I've been one of his clients before and have absolutely loved his work. So that's why I invited him on today. So welcome, Aaem.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. So glad to have you here today. And so as we get started, I guess I'm curious to, even before we talk about what shiatsu actually is, if someone's interested in becoming a client, what types of clients do you actually like to work with?
Okay. Well, I love working with clients who are who are open to alternative health options,
Mm-hmm.
and also are willing to be active participants in their own healing process.
Okay.
Um, this just allows us to experience bigger shifts within that process. I mean, the body is has the amazing ability to heal itself,
Mm-hmm.
and shiatsu can help assist with that by rebalancing the body. But our environments and our daily life play a huge part in our success. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Absolutely. Cool. I love that because I think there's are so many people out there who do want to get more invested in their health.
Hmm.
And if you are out there watching this and you're tired of drugs or medications and you actually want to start to take control of your health,
Yeah.
that's what this is for. So, how does shiatsu different from more traditional forms of massage?
Well, I would say first, if you're seeking out someone who specifically practices shiatsu therapy, to
Mm-hmm.
start, it's done over the clothes. So
Okay.
it's really inviting for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of it's just a really nice aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Each shiatsu session begins with an assessment that includes questions about your general wellness. Sometimes it includes like a tongue and pulse assessment.
Mm-hmm.
All of this helps to design a specific treatment based on your indications, um, to address any root imbalance, as
Okay.
well as your main concern for seeking body work to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Treatments are given using soothing, kneading, and various pressure techniques along with the breath, and it's followed by passive stretching and range of motion exercises. So, I mean, the experience usually leaves people feeling pretty invigorated,
Mm-hmm.
while also reducing the discomfort that they're experiencing.
Absolutely. And that I think was one of the things that I noticed when I've worked with you is that ability to have something for myself that helps me decompress, but it
Yeah.
feels like it was a good charge for my system at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
can't tell you how many times clients are like, wow, like I get off the table and I actually feel like I have more energy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Whereas a lot of times when I get massage, like I feel beat up, and I feel that way for days after.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really different experience.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And is it similar then to like traditional Chinese medicine or acupuncture? What are the similarities? What are the differences?
Yeah, I mean, it is very similar to acupuncture in what it can do with the body.
Mm-hmm.
The difference, I mean, clearly acupuncture is needling, so it needles specific points that are necessary for balancing the body out,
Mm-hmm.
which the points are usually along meridians, which are energy channels that run through the body.
Mm-hmm.
With shiatsu therapy, we use various pressure techniques, and just various techniques to manipulate the tissues and the entire meridian before we go back to those specific points and do different types of pressure techniques on those points, along with the breath to bring the balance that's needed.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, so if you are watching, you're thinking, I've thought about acupuncture. I heard it's good, but I'm afraid of the needles. This
Yeah.
might be an
No,
easy option, right?
totally. It's a great alternative, especially
Mm-hmm.
if that kind of freaks you out or weirds you out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes acupuncture can get to the imbalance on a deeper level.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, Shiatsu, we're manipulating the whole meridian, which doesn't get done in acupuncture.
Okay.
So there's pros and cons to both, but both definitely really work to do the same thing, which is balancing out those imbalances that are creating symptoms.
Got it. So with leading to better balance, what are some of the common symptoms people do come to you with? And aside from energy, some of the other benefits they experience?
Well, if we're talking about, are we talking about like how Shiatsu looks at the body and like what people are?
Yeah, I'd be curious as a general overview, and maybe we could go to the symptoms next, but when Shiatsu is looking at the body with the balancing, as you mentioned that, is it looking for areas where there's excess, too much, or areas where there's not enough and trying to get them to even out?
Well, both.
Mm-hmm.
So with Shiatsu, first there's many different types of Shiatsu therapy. The two that I practice, one is Namakoshi Shiatsu, which is based in anatomy and physiology of the body,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one is Shiatsu Anma, which uses principles of traditional Chinese medicine. So this is where it comes into play, where we're doing more of an assessment. So it's working with the meridians or the energy channels to help restore balance. And when there's imbalance in the body, we can be experiencing an assortment of symptoms. So like you can experience pain or discomfort, emotional imbalance, which can look like just general moodiness, grief, anxiety, really like any emotion that feels excessive or that it just feels like it's not going away. We can have digestive imbalances. So that could be low and no appetite. It could be constipation, loose stools. It could be excessive gassiness, indigestion. I mean, anything really you want to associate with digestive issues.
Yeah.
It helps, I mean, like, helps manage stress better. People who have regular headaches or migraines, really any symptom that you might be experiencing that's discomfort within traditional Chinese medicine can be considered a sign of imbalance. It's one of the things I really like about Chinese medicine or Eastern medicines, specifically Chinese medicine, I guess, is that a lot of times, many of us, myself included, have had different sort of health issues where we're not getting answers that we want from Western medicine. Nobody can explain what's going on. And what I've found in my practice with Shiatsu therapy and within traditional Chinese medicine is a lot of these random symptoms that we experience somehow come together and fall into like specific imbalances that we're experiencing. So all of a sudden we have answers that we can kind of work with. So it's really kind of nice. And
Absolutely. Yeah, I love the idea of it's so common for people struggling nowadays to look at their symptom, think their symptom's the problem, and just try to cover it up instead of looking at the whole body as a whole and saying, how can we help the body work together the way it's designed to get things balanced, and then the body can heal itself, like you said in the beginning.
Right, because really, I mean, our symptoms, if we think about them as in terms of imbalance, we can work to balance the body out again, and we don't have to live with those symptoms. We don't have to keep medicating just to keep that indigestion at bay, right? Like there's other things going on in the body that we can kind of work with to where that indigestion might go away with potentially a slight change in diet, you know. This kind of depends. I mean, all of that is a factor of our well-being. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and that's what I love too, is sometimes too, like in our office when we're also trying to help balance the body, people come in for one thing, and as their body's healing from that, they also say, oh, by the way, this and this are better, even though they didn't have them related, because it's just helping the body as a whole work better, and pretty soon you are sleeping better, you do have more energy, you're getting through the winter, not getting sick as often, you're eating foods and having good bowel movements, so everything works better.
I know, it's great.
If someone is looking for a Shiatsu therapist, I know that the more traditional model might be tougher to find, or do a lot of practitioners kind of integrate shiatsu and traditional massage therapy, or what are some ways to look to know if someone actually is doing shiatsu?
That's a good question. Basically, you would want to ask, and it also depends on what your interest is. So, if you want a more traditional massage with just some shiatsu kneading and pressing and techniques, and maybe a point hit here and there, um, you can find that out by just asking the therapist, like, "Hey, do you work with root imbalances, or do you do regular massage and incorporate shiatsu techniques?" Um, One second. We're closed. Sorry.
That's okay. At least we know you're
Um,
popular.
yeah, yeah. so, so yeah, it's just a matter of knowing what you want. Do you want a more holistic type of body work, or do you just want massage with some shiatsu techniques, which can feel really good and be beneficial as well?
Yep.
But we do in the Twin Cities here. We have a school that has people go through. They have an East and a West program for massage, and a lot of practitioners go through both programs. And because a lot of clients are more familiar with regular massage, they tend to practice that and incorporate techniques of shiatsu into that, integrate it into that practice, but they might not be practicing to look for root imbalances. So it just depends on what you're looking for, and to just ask the practitioners when you find one, hey, what kind of shiatsu do you practice? Do you practice looking for those root imbalances, or is it just some techniques incorporated?
Got it. Okay. And that's why I like when working with you is I feel like you are approaching my body with a systematic approach, and that it is working through the meridians, helping the energy flow, not just saying, oh, your shoulder's sore and like rub the shoulder, right? But actually having a system to approach the body to get the whole body moving in a good direction.
Yeah. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there are times where if there's if there's something structurally wrong, shiatsu might be able to help, but if after a certain amount of sessions we're not seeing movement, then that's when it's going to be like, okay, well, maybe you need to see a chiropractor, or maybe you need to see somebody, a physical therapist, so that you can kind of balance out the muscles that might be out of balance, which is oftentimes the case if people are working desk work, right? We're tighter in here, but we're like weaker in the back. And that's when being active in your healing process is a big key player, because if you're not going home and doing stretches and exercises, strengthening exercises, it's really just a Band-Aid fix sometimes, getting massage.
Yeah, I agree. So, love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So as we are wrapping up today, if someone's interested in getting a hold of you or looking into shiatsu with yourself more, what's the best way to do so? And we can also post in the comments below, so whatever you say, we can add.
Yeah, let's do that. Well, I have a private practice. It's Great River Body Therapy.
Okay.
You can visit my website at grbodytherapy.com.
Okay.
I'm located over by Lake Nokomis, out of Eastern Shore. I also practice at the Backrub, or the Great Metropolitan Backrub, but it's Backrub Stores. That's located in Highland Park. And that is that's not going to have a private room. It's kind of an open forum, which is where, Tye, you've seen me. It's kind of like we have 3 tables, and it's a little bit of an open space, and there's practitioners practicing side by side. So it's a little bit of a different format. It kind of depends on your location and what your preference is for receiving body work. But yeah, those 2 different places, you can totally reach me.
Awesome.
And like you said, we'll post in the comments, or
we'll put them both in there and make sure it gets distributed properly. So
yeah.
Awesome.
So between those 2, I'm very accessible.
Absolutely. It's nice to have a couple locations and know where you're coming from. So
I like that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Am. I think this was a great insight for people, like I said, when you hear this term sometimes, but you don't really know what
Yeah.
it means, when it can be so powerful in the healing journey.
Yeah, it's really great. And I encourage everybody at least experience some at
Mm-hmm.
some point, because it's just a really good type of body work. And because it's such a holistic form of body work,
Mm-hmm.
it's really usually, I haven't met anybody yet that has not felt good and satisfied
Mm-hmm.
by their experience. So thank you
Absolutely.
for the opportunity,
You
Ty.
bet, Am. Great to talk
Oh,
with you, and
yeah.
thanks everyone out there for joining us today, and we'll catch you guys later.
All right. Have a good one.